Wow, it's week 2. A whole week going through the Justice Revolution, and through this week we have gone through so many different things. I've given up guitar for a week, I've slept in a box, I've gone a whole day without rice, I learned many different things about child soldiers, and so many things that this Justice Revolution has taught me in just 1 week. But here we are, week 2, and we're focusing on new problems, new injustices that must be fixed, that must be brought to our attention. And it's because of the Justice Revolution that I can even begin to understand this. Now here we are, week 2, our first day, we are looking at the subject of poverty again. Now, many different people around the world have many different things that they do not own. They have a lack of food, they have a lack of water, they have a lack of clothing, and many other things that we here in America simply take for granted. But there's another thing that we don't often think about, and it's something we really take for granted. It's our shoes. Now, many different children in Africa don't have shoes. Now, I, as a homeschooler, personally actually don't wear shoes all that often as long as I'm in the house. But what I learned today is that many of those children who don't have shoes often suffer from many different diseases where they cut up their feet, it starts to swell, it gets large, and then their body becomes infected. And this problem of not having shoes radically affects them. So today we're looking at this idea of, this concept of the poverty going on throughout the world and this terrible injustice that occurs. And they wanted us to get just a taste of what it's like. Now it's Sunday, so we had to go to church, but there's something we had to do as we went. We went the whole day without wearing any shoes. And I mean literally the whole day. Now we went to Plant City Church, and if you know Plant City, or at least the Church of Covenant Bible Church, no one wears shoes there. So it wasn't, at least at first I thought it wasn't much of a sacrifice. But then I began to go to different venues, different places, and I began to understand what it's like to go a whole day without shoes, to have this lack of something that I simply take for granted. And many of these children can't even imagine what we have here in America. I know of different girls who have somewhere around like 40 pairs of shoes. Now, in the informed section, we learned that the typical American could own up to 15 pairs of shoes. I own at least 6 or 7, and these are all I take for granted. Sometimes I even think I need more shoes. When these children have one pair, they may have flip-flops, they may have a pair of Toms, or something that will simply work as they're going about their daily lives. And yet, the idea that we have all these shoes and they have nothing never even occurs to us. So today, through the Justice Revolution, we were able to understand what it's like to go a whole day without shoes. And here in America, that was a bit weird, because we don't really think of it like that. People looked at me and they asked me, well, why on earth do you not have your shoes on? You've got to have plenty of pairs. You can't have lost shoes enough. But out there in Africa, if they break their shoes, if they rip them, they lose them, that's it. There's nothing more. And those children that don't have their shoes, they literally walk around all day through the dirt, through the glass, and just don't have these shoes to protect them. So because of the Justice Revolution today, we got just a taste of what it's like to be in poverty and have nothing, or have no shoes.